We are here with Alysa Seeland from Found Bone Broth. Thank you so much for joining us here on the live stream.
I love it.
Of course. So I'm so excited to talk bone broth. We have two large vats of it right over there. Not of yours, unfortunately, but let's talk about that category. So you started Fond in 2015. Let's talk about how that category has changed in the last few years.
Yes, so when we started, there was really no bone broth offering in our local grocery store. And obviously in the last 4 years, it has really changed dramatically where you have 4 or 5 pretty decent options now, from refrigeration to in the shelf-stable section. And we are proud to be sampling 3 flavors here today for folks to be able to try, to kind of see what the difference is in our product. But when we started, we wanted to provide something that was delicious right away. Mm-hmm. So no added ingredients, nothing that the customer would need to do, just open, warm, and sip. And we feel like that problem that we're solving for is still really relevant today.
That's really cool. Your products also have really fun names like Inside Job and Liquid Light. I love Youth Tonic. That just makes me want to drink it immediately, obviously. Tell us about those and what makes each of those recipes unique.
Yes, so the names are really the poetic ode to their chief ingredient. So like with Youth Tonic, we're just giving a light nod to the kojic acid and shiitake mushrooms, which actually can help to lighten and brighten the skin. With Liquid Light, we wanted to evoke senses of brightness and calming, just highlighting the anti-inflammatory benefits of turmeric, especially when combined with cracked pepper. So our bone broths each take a hero ingredient, combine a palate experience with complementary ingredients, and we're just giving a nod to what these things do and why we're highlighting them. It's an educational opportunity too for customers. You mentioned Inside Job. I actually don't love the fennel taste, but fennel is so good for digestion. And so having a little playful element with some ingredients that make that specifically a little bit more palatable.
That's really cool. I love that. Do you find that most of your consumers understand bone broth already, or is it part of your journey to sort of have to educate them a bit?
Yes, so my number one job is to make sure everyone loves bone broth, and that has become easier, to your point. So people will say, okay, I've heard about bone broth, tell me more, as opposed to when we started in 2015 and people were like, what is this? Why would I drink that? So I think the natural industry as a whole has done a great job. You know, we heard in the co-op conversation about seeing the community aspect of things, and I love that. I love seeing other bone broth companies succeed because it normalizes bone broth to the everyday consumer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And then you came sort of from a marketing creative side originally. Tell us how you've used that to help boost the brand story for Fond.
So as one of the speakers mentioned, the primary buyer in the household is female. And I really didn't see, you know, you've got a lot of paleo and like manly bone broth products out there. And that's great. They can buy Fond and that's awesome. But I made this product for the moms, for the ladies, for the people who are nourishing those in their lives or practicing self-care nutritionally. And I wanted to tell that story from the label. You are worth investing in. You are worth taking 5 minutes out of the day to sip on a nourishing product that was made for you, that's beautiful from the inside out. So that's how the marketing background fits in there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it can be hard when brand is trying to figure out what to focus on their packaging, and when you want to provide a little bit of that education as well. How do you balance that? How do you make sure you're not overwhelming the consumer?
That is such a good question. So from my background in financial technology, I learned the importance of beta testing. So we go to the farmers markets with slight label iterations, and we see what actually makes sense to the customer first, and then we launch them like in our larger grocery chains, or we'll make a little bit of changes here and there, but it's a moving target for sure, especially when you're a flavored bone broth, but you don't use any even politically correct preservatives. We're found in the refrigerated section. We use pasture-raised chicken. We're moving exclusively to use regenerative, organic, certified pasture-raised chicken. So there's a lot of education points. We find that there's 3 main things the customer really wants to know. What is it? Why is it different? How do I use it? Mm-hmm. And so those are the things that we try to focus on.
Mm-hmm. That's really cool. So I know you've had some highs and lows, as often goes in this business, and I'm wondering what piece of advice you might give to a new entrepreneur who maybe is suffering a setback of some type. And that might be a hard question, I know, but I think it's an important one.
So I think if you are product first, that will serve you well. Both of our investors were super fans of our product first. Mm-hmm. That has helped us. We've heard the SVC Harbinger company talk about being aligned in goals. That's really important. Having people around you, whether it's an investor or not, whether it's your team, right, that you're building, people who believe in the product. All of our employees came to us, have made career moves at times to believe in Fond and to bring that forward. And that's so incredibly powerful to our narrative. I like to tell everyone from our brewmaster to our insurance agent is a Fond fan, and that propels us forward. And so to those entrepreneurs out there, if you believe in your product, do not give up. You are going to find people. For me, I wanted to have a product out there that allowed people to support pasture-raised chicken. There's tons of egg options to support pasture-raised chicken. But in the meat component, when we talk about pasture-raised chicken meat, there's really not a lot of products. So I created that opportunity. We've drawn people to come to us who also believe in the importance of regenerative agriculture through our product being of uncompromising quality and our mission.
Mm-hmm. And do you find that people are really excited once they learn more about that mission?
Yes. So it's really kind of scary, some of the practices. I don't know if you saw the Fairlife dairy video that just came out, but y'all, that is, unfortunately, we're going to be finding more and more of that happening. I didn't know this, but most chickens don't see a blade of grass their entire lives, let alone the sun. And we, as the consumer packaging industry, need to figure out how to not just throw this product problem on the consumer. Make sure you recycle it. Make sure you find a reuse for it. We need to be solving this problem of environmental and sustainability and proactiveness before the product gets to the customer, in my opinion.
And is it a bit of a struggle, or have you kind of gotten a handle on your sourcing at this point? Is that something that won't change?
Yeah, so that's everyone's biggest question, and thankfully, since we are able to grow as our customer demand has grown, we have a strategic partner who noticed this problem too in 2015. And it's really exciting to be able to grow with them. They are launching a large-scale operation, and so we've been able to grow with them, solve problems together, but also see them hit this sort of critical, massive scale where, okay, maybe now they have 50 acres. In a year, they'll have 200 acres, and so we can grow together. But there's a lot of other people solving the pasture-raised problem as well, and we're excited about partnering with them as our operation grows.
Awesome. Well, it's a really great product. Thank you so much for chatting with us.
Yes,
really
thank you,
appreciate
Beth.
it.